What if I didn't run? What if I'm not a coward? What if I want them to kill me? What if I want them to try?
Hello and welcome back, pilot. Have you or your loved ones been in one of these situations? One-on-one with a Titan, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. The outcome always the same, defeat. But I can fix that, or at least help. I will guide you on how to effectively kill Titans so that my attrition matches stop being one-sided. And from what I heard, new pilots say that Titans are overpowered and it's hard to kill them. And they are partially correct. Titans in Titanfall 2 are much stronger than pilots. That is an intended design. But you pilots are given tools to fight them in the form of anti-Titan weapons and your advanced movement. Where most beginner pilots make mistakes is in the approach to fighting said Titans. Titans are not your usual enemy. They don't go down one hit, they're mobile enough to catch a pilot on the ground, and they have an arsenal of Titan-made weapons that can one-shot a pilot. Approach to the fight determines whether you become tomato paste or a Titan killer. But before you even engage a Titan, you need to know which anti-Titan weapon is for you. There are 4 anti-Titan weapons to choose from. All of them have their strengths and weaknesses. Let's begin with one of the frontier standards, the charge rifle. Pilots get one shot, while Titans lose 1025 hit points and 12,081 hit points on critical hits. Numbers mean little without context, so from now on I will use one Titan health bar as our basis for our future comparisons. All you need to know is that 2 shots from the charge rifle deal roughly about 1 Titan health bar, which is 2,500 hit points, if you want to know. So to kill a Ronin with 3 health bars, you need to hit him at least 7 times. Now, back to the charge rifle. The charge rifle is fired by pressing your fire button until the charge meter you see here reaches the top. It then shoots out a literal laser beam. It has laser accuracy and instantaneous hit registration. Good range and great damage. What are the downsides? Well, the developers made sure you are clearly seen to the Titans when you're firing. That includes you, cloakmates. The charging of the shot itself makes you a glowing target for 2 whole seconds, and after firing, a short-lived trail points to your direction. To minimize the risk of getting seen, you should use cover in between your shots. And to decrease your 2-second charging time, I recommend you learn how to feather the trigger, or as Fati's video guide said,
just charge it up and fire when you're ready. You can perform, a technique called edging, where you charge it up about 90% of the way and let off your left click or your right trigger, and just kind of hold your charge near the point of no return and wait for them to reach the, somewhere near the apex of their ejection, and edging.
Personally, I'm going to stick to the word feathering due to the times we're living in. Feathering the charge rifle means pressing your trigger ever so slightly, such that the charge meter is as close as possible to the top. If you played rhythm games, then this should come naturally to you. Just press repeatedly at a constant rate. The idea here is that once you line up your sights, you can immediately shoot your target and go back to cover without needing to wait those 2 whole seconds of charge. In other words, you are pre-charging the shot ahead of time. Lastly, the charge rifle is also one of the best weapons to boost pilots midair for style points. If you like being up close and near danger, I recommend the Thunderbolt. The Thunderbolt deals massive damage. Well, that's surprising. The Thunderbolt deals about the same amount of damage as the charge rifle, which is half of a Titan health bar. This means you also need about 7 shots to kill a Ronin. On top of the low damage, it also has a slow-moving projectile that can be blocked or dodged by Titans. Okay, I'm making it seem like it's a bad weapon. In actuality, the Thunderbolt's crowning trait is its area damage. The most effective way to use it is to fire it into a group of Titans, hitting as many as you can with the area damage. Even if there are only 2 Titans, the Thunderbolt will outperform the charge rifle in the damage category. It's simple to use as you don't need to charge your shot like the charge rifle. This is the type of weapon you quickly shoot and forget about. Lastly, I don't recommend you aim this weapon at Titans directly and instead near them. The direct impact damage is 1/10 of a Titan bar, practically nothing, and you lose the possibility of hitting one more Titan with the area damage. Also, from personal experience playing Titans, it is easier to block the attack directly head-on than to dodge it. So don't aim directly at Titans with this anti-Titan weapon. You know what you can't dash away from? The MGL mag launcher. My first anti-Titan weapon of choice was the MGL. The reason? It looked cool, and it still does. The MGL mag launcher contains 6 grenades that altogether delete 1 whole Titan health bar. That's at least 4 reloads of the mag launcher needed before killing a Ronin. Titans might block MGL's projectiles with their defensive abilities, but they can't dash away from it, as I said before. Why? That's because this grenade launcher launches magnetic explosives, hence the name. This magnetism is also known as aim assist, which for this weapon is really good. The arching projectiles also allow you to sit behind cover and fire away without any fear, unless you're up against a Scorch. Personally, when I play Scorch, I indiscriminately lob thermite at any roof or window I see. There isn't an actual reason for that, the pilots being there is just a bonus. My strategy is simple. If it wasn't on fire, then it would be. If there was something there, then it wouldn't be. Anyways, where were we? If you consider the MGL too tedious to aim, and want your projectiles to aim for you, then the Archer is for you. The Archer is what you get if you strapped a satchel charge to a bullet, which is what a missile is. The Archer launches a self-guided rocket that deals a whole Titan health bar. And you might think that the Archer's 4 shots per Ronin ratio makes it a clear winner among the 4 weapons, but you've been deceived. For your high damage, the Titan has many ways to block or even dodge the rocket. The Archer's rocket's tracking, like other AI in this game, is a little obtuse. From what it seems, it just tracks the center of your Titan. So, dodging it comes down to dashing and looking at the rocket at just the right time. So when you're up against a more experienced pilot, hitting your shot will become very difficult. Even more, the Titan that you're locking on gets a warning display that readies them to dodge or block your incoming rocket. I only recommend this anti-Titan weapon of choice when you're up against inexperienced players. But you aren't here to learn how to stomp on newer players. You're here to learn how to kill good Titan players. Are you? Now that I listed the pluses and minuses for each weapon, you can choose the one and only real option, the charge rifle. Think about it. David won the battle because he stayed away from Goliath. He kept his range and sniped him in the head, and won the battle. The charge rifle is a designated sniper of anti-Titan weapons, and range is the best trait these weapons can have over Titans. But, even with the nudge I gave you, the real choice is still yours. Having distance between you and the Titan keeps you safe, but if you like playing closely, you can also make it work. It doesn't matter which weapon you choose, the overarching idea behind every one of them is dealing a quick burst of damage and evading the Titan until another opportunity to strike appears. Your second shot can be right after the first shot if you play your hands correctly, like in this clip. I'm not letting that monarch rest one bit. The way I am able to continuously dish out this punishment is with movement. I'm popping in and out from cover above her. This makes me very hard to shoot, but if I have to be fair, the pilot controlling the Titan wasn't that good. But my point still stands. Movement is the second half to being a good Titan killer. Let's get into it. Movement in Titanfall 2 may seem daunting to learn, but please, don't stress over strafing, super gliding, wall kicks, and other words that mean little to us right now. In fact, the only movement techniques you need to learn is slide hopping and wall running. They are the building blocks of Titanfall, and I am fairly certain in saying that that's how the devs wanted us to play the game. The game is designed with slide hopping and wall running in mind, so as a result, they are easy to use and easy to learn. If you want to learn slide hopping, I recommend that you check out this video by Heinz. That's how I learned slide hopping. There is no better way for me to explain it other than how it was explained in that video. The video is linked in the description as always. Now, let's quickly cover how to learn wall running. When you see a vertical surface, jump onto it. And then move in whatever direction you would like. That's it. That's the whole tutorial. Now let's cover when to wall run. Firstly, I want this to be clear. Use the walls whenever you can. This isn't an option, especially to newer players. Run at the wall and jump onto it, and keep doing that until the game ends. There isn't much left for me to explain on how you should do it. What I can add is that your wall run refreshes when you meet another wall. Considering this, with the help of the double jump, you should jump from your wall to another on the opposite end and continue your wall run uninterrupted. You'll know that you're doing this right when your game stats look something like this. In most games, I'm either flying through the air or wall running. Again, just run into the wall. Now, once you stop touching any ground at all, where should your wall runs take you? Well, anywhere you want, but since we're talking about Titans, preferably high above them. Wall running opens up a lot of routes and places you thought were only accessible to grapple pilots. Be it being above the complex's hallway, on top of the sandy rooftops of Rise, or War Games' skybox. Frankly, no one ever expects you to be there. All of these places I listed and more are accessible with wall running magic. I could explain how I got up there and show all the cool spots on different maps, but I will leave it up to you, the audience, to explore. Finally, now that you know how to get around and where to be, when should you engage a Titan? You should not engage a Titan head on, especially when the Titan sees you. When you're in their sights, you have seconds to live. Instead, you should fight like a mosquito, constantly buzzing around but never seen. Mosquito warfare, if you will, like guerrilla warfare but at a smaller scale. In gameplay terms, make sure to attack the Titan when he's turned away from you or too preoccupied fighting someone else. When he finally rotates around looking for you, begin wall run to evade. Go from wall to wall, above the wall, or behind the wall, because unlike any other game, a cover in Titanfall is the size of a building instead of a box. You can repeat this hide and seek loop until you whittle away a Titan's HP. Of course, the Titans on the other side of the fight are playing this whack-a-mole game with you. They're bound to hit you, so expect to die a few times in the process. That's normal. Conveniently, when you die, you can switch your pilot loadout. So why should you do that? Because it allows you to use the secret anti-Titan weapon, the satchels. I assume most people don't use them, and that's a shame. They have the highest damage output for a grenade when used on Titans. They deal one whole Titan health bar worth of damage. That's 4 satchels to do Ronin. Pretty efficient if you ask me. But we can do better. You can equip the AWOL pilot to throw the satchels through the AWOL to imbue them with double the damage. That's 2 amped satchels per Ronin, a very good ratio. All this can happen from one quick loadout change, so take advantage and experiment. My last advice for all the length you went to damage an enemy Titan is to call your own Titan into battle, fighting fire with fire. All the damage you've done up until now was to build that Titan meter. You, pilot, can choose your favorite Titan and finally kill that pesky Ronin that survived the satchels thrown at him. That's up to your skill as a Titan player. Titan gameplay is outside the scope of this video, so you're on your own here. There are many important concepts I mentioned, so here's a real quick summary of the guide. There are 3 things you need to know. 1. Always wall run. 2. Stay above Titans using your wall runs. 3. Keep on wall running. 4. Have situational awareness to know when to attack a Titan. If the Titan is walking towards you, do not engage. 5. Use anti-Titan weapons like you're playing whack-a-mole, where you are the mole. Shoot, hide, and shoot again when they least expect it. 6. Keep wall running while doing the above. 7. Oh, and also, you can change your pilot loadout mid-game.